what is up, guys? Welcome back to Life on the Wrist. Happy Friday. I hope you guys are doing well. Today we're going to be discussing the Lange Söhne catalog. This is their collection for the 2019 to 2020 year. What I did was I requested a bunch of these different catalogs because I actually enjoy reading them from different companies, and I thought I would kind of bring you guys attention to Lange Söhne. Lange Söhne's catalog really stood out to me, and I thought I would give it a video, show you guys what's inside of it, and kind of explain why I think this is such a great catalog for you to request. That's going to be the topic for today. If you are new to the channel, welcome to Life on the Wrist. We create videos about watches, so if you like watches and you like videos about watches, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Also, while you're down there, be sure to hit that like button. It really does help us out. So Lange Söhne, if you don't know, is a German watch company located in Glashütte, which is near the city of Dresden, and they create watches, some very iconic watches, like the Lange Söhne Lange 1, which we'll show you in the book. Yeah, a really well-respected company that really focuses on quality and craftsmanship with every single watch that they churn out. You can buy one of their entry-level watches and it's still going to be equal quality to that of their high pieces, and it's the reason why they really stand out is that it's not like their higher-end pieces are of higher quality than their entry-level pieces. They are all extreme quality, so that's one of why they're great. If you look here, this is in 2019 they celebrated their 25th anniversary. That's why they have this little emblem in the middle, and they came out with some pretty cool pieces. So I'm gonna kind of walk you through the process of me getting this. I actually received this in the mail, and this came from Germany. I'm not kidding, it had a stamp. It was packaged in a DHL box. It had a stamp on it of entering the US. It was really, really cool, and it kind of was nice that I kind of almost had like a time capsule from Germany, because I am located in, so that was really cool. The next thing I thought was really cool is this letter that they sent me. This letter is just kind of explaining their collection, describing it to me, and telling a little bit about the fact that they're celebrating their 25th year anniversary of the Lange 1. The Zeitwerk, that they've got another milestone for them, is celebrating the anniversary of this watch. They also put it in their North American email address and their phone number. And I don't know if this is a machine or not, but if you look at the bottom of this, you can see that it's signed by Clara Fischer. I don't know if it's hand signed. It probably is a machine. I remember Jean-Claude Biver talking about a machine that can end up signing it like that, but it did feel like it was a little bit more personal, being that I got a letter like this. It's also really high quality paper, which I like, and was a cool thing to open up the book to. So that was kind of the first thing that I noticed about it. Then, kind of getting into the book, you can see this is the Lange 1 kind of embossed on the inside of the book. But what I really liked is the fact that they have this origins and values section of the book. On the left-hand side is actually one of my favorite quotes. It's one of the quotes that we have on our website. There's something one should expect not only of a watch but also of oneself: to never stand still. That was Walter Lange. This is one of my favorite quotes, and really it motivates me with everything I really do. So I really like this section, and they kind of go into establishing the company and their history. But one of the things that I really liked is the relaunch image. This is the beginning of a new era. If you don't know much about Lange Söhne, Lange Söhne was a watch company that ended up going dormant during World War II, just because of the tensions in the area. And then post World War II, it kind of was brought back to life, and in 1990 they relaunched their collections, and this is the relaunch of the Lange 1. So this year they're celebrating their 25th year anniversary of this, and this is Goethe Blümlein and Walter Lange, who really kind of saved Lange Söhne. So two legends, I really like the fact that they have this image because it is part of their history. So that was one of the things I really liked. Now you kind of get into their collection. You have a beautiful image of the movement. You can see the balance clock, the engraved balance clock, which is really iconic for Lange Söhne. And then you kind of get into their collection. You can see here we have the Lange 1, the Zeitwerk, the Lange Matic, the Datograph, and then the Richard Lange. So you kind of have their collections all here. So that was there, and then you're getting into their collection. So let me look here to see which ones I wanted to show you. The one that I wanted to show you was their 25th anniversary editions. They've been releasing these slowly every year. But basically in celebration of 25 years of the Lange 1, they were releasing different types of watches. So you have here just their classic, right here you have their classic Lange 1. Here you have a Grand Lange 1 moonphase, and then over here is the Little Lange. I think it's the Little Lange is the dimensions are a little bit smaller. So I really like the 25th year anniversary ones. And they've been releasing these slowly over the past year. I also like the fact that, I don't know if you can see this here, but you can see the movement has a protective case back there, but you can pop that off, pop it up, and be able to see the movement, which I think is one of the best parts about Lange Söhne. So you can see that 3/4 plate, really, really beautiful. And those are all limited editions, so that's something to consider as well. If we kind of move through here really quickly, this is a watch that I think is absolutely incredible that I wanted to draw your attention to. This is on page 41 if you do have this catalog. It's the Lange 1 tourbillon perpetual calendar. So I'll do a little close-up of that really quickly. And then over on this side you can see the watch and the movement. I'll put up some pictures so you can see it as well, but a perpetual calendar in a Lange 1 automatic movement, which you don't really, at least I don't associate that with a Lange 1, so that's cool. But the tourbillon is absolutely beautiful. You can see the cage is really well finished, and it's just a really beautiful watch. That's one of the things I wanted to draw your attention to. Then you kind of get into the Zeitwerk collection, which is kind of it really is a modern piece, being that it's a digital display. Jumping hours, Zeitwerk, their movements are absolutely incredible as well. So kind of get into the Zeitwerk. Not my favorite Lange, so I'm not going to really spend too much time. Then you kind of get into their Saxonia collection, which is probably one of the, if you're looking for a very classical watch, this is exactly what you should be going for. Beautiful movement, and again, the same finishing that you're going to find the finishing that you find on this and quality that you find in a Richard Lange, you'll find in a Saxonia as well. So a really beautiful piece there. I'm going to skip through the Saxonia because there's more that I want to show you. And then we get to, in my opinion, easily one of the best watches on the market today, and that is the Datograph up-down. There really isn't much for me to say. The way that this is put together, the movement itself is an absolute masterpiece, probably one of the best chronograph movements put together right now. The way that the dial is laid out is easily one of the best proportioned dials you can get on the market. Yes, it is relatively expensive, but I really do believe it's one of the best watches out there right now. I'll put up some pictures of this because it really is beautiful, and I remember watching a video on this where a lot of people say that the chronograph is actually quite hard to start and stop, and I think it was a Hodinkee video, and I think Ben Clymer asked, why is that, and they said we want to make sure that if you are starting the chronograph, you are meaning to start it, because if you hit it and it doesn't actually start the movement of the chronograph, it still grinds the gears, so you can have a little bit of wear there. So it's either an all or nothing chronograph. You have to start it, you have to stop it. So, but I love the movement because it has so much depth to it. It has so much depth. Everything is put together. It looks like everything is put together in a meaningful way, and you can just get lost in there for sure. So one of the best watches on the market today. If you haven't seen it in the flesh, try and see it because it really is beautiful. We're gonna skip through this because it just gets even more crazy. I can just name some of these, you know, Datograph perpetual, Datograph perpetual tourbillon. So you have a Datograph with a tourbillon at the top. I actually didn't notice this when I was going through this, but that is an incredible Lange 31. Just take a look at that movement really quickly. Look how just clean that looks. It looks super modern, actually. A lot of the times when you look at movements, you're like, okay, I can see the class. But this looks like this movement looks kind of like a Tony Stark movement. No? Does anyone feel that? That was cool. The triple splits, you're getting triple calendar with split seconds. Or sorry, no, I'm sorry. It's just a flyback tourbillon with 3 chronograph hands. That's my fault. That was my bad. Then you got the 1815 collection on page 103. Please flip to that really quickly. This is another thing that I think is beautiful. I think the 1815 tourbillon is easily one of the nicest looking tourbillons I've seen. I know there's a Audemars Piguet Royal Oak with a tourbillon like this, but I think this is one of the coolest looking tourbillons out there. This one is in platinum, pink gold. What a beautiful watch. And then the last thing I just wanted to mention, these watches get even crazier. So Tourbograph perpetual pour les Mariettes. Jeez. And then the last thing is obviously the Richard Lange and the fine observation watch. And I mean, the Richard Lange collection is just incredible. There are a couple versions of this. I think the one that I probably would want to look at is the Richard Lange perpetual calendar Terra Luna. So you've probably seen this in some of their videos, but it's the Richard Lange watch, and if you flip it on the back, you have a beautiful display of the moon phase, sky night, and the earth there. So this watch you're looking at, regulator dial with large minutes, subsidiary hours, subsidiary second dials with stop seconds, perpetual calendar with outsized date, day of week, month, and leap year display, patented orbital moon phase display with night day indicator for the northern hemisphere, power reserve indicator, 14 days power reserve. That is an incredible piece, and I know I went through this a little bit quickly, but those are the kind of the things that stood out to me. I'll be sure to put up pictures so you can see them, and then obviously at the end you have the price list for all of the watches. So if we just go, I can give you an idea. The Richard Lange that we just looked at, that's $231,500. If we go back here, you know, their Lange 1 anniversary models are obviously going to be a little bit more expensive than their Lange 1s, but that's because they're made in limited quantities. But yeah, those are the things that really kind of, those are the highlights that I found from this book. If you don't really do this, I really would recommend trying to grab some of these catalogs, because you can learn a lot about these companies, but also this is a cool thing to have. I don't think it's going to be that historic because they probably have given them out quite frequently, but this is a cool way to continue your hobby within watches. So that's the catalog from Lange Söhne. I'm sorry if you couldn't really see a lot of the ones that I was holding up, but I'll be sure to put up pictures so you can see them. Hope you kind of enjoyed this video. I have some other catalogs that I could perhaps do this with. Perhaps I'll change the format so I'm looking down at it. We'll see how the response to this video is. If you have some suggestions, put it in the comment section below. And with that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time.